everybody. Today we've got Amy with us from GradewithTAG. So thank you so much for coming all the way down from Manchester to come and see us. It's a long old drive. It's a really long drive. So Amy is the director of GradewithTAG. Yeah. They are the middleman service for the TAG American company, grading company. We're really excited that we've signed a contract to be a TAG drop-off point for the southwest of England, the only one, might I add. And Amy, just as a little bit of an icebreaker, what is your favourite Pokémon?
Abracadabra, Alakazam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
What, the whole line?
The whole line.
Yeah.
Started with Abra, and then obviously Kadabra because it's sort of, it got ousted for a bit.
Oh, I see, that's why you put Alakazam.
Yeah,
right, okay, that makes sense. So we should have guessed that. It was one of those three,
the
wasn't it?
second highest graded Alakazam, and then that's TAG.
Really?
Nice.
There you go.
There we go, a little bit of knowledge.
Is that the one with the score on it?
No, you don't have to always have the score.
Yeah, cool.
It's nice.
So,
awesome.
Yeah, amazing.
And then sort of, what is your favourite card that's come through TAG? Like, what's been the best card you've seen graded? Has it been the best grade?
The Crystal Lugia was
Crystal
probably,
Lugia.
Yeah, so when someone trusts you with a card like that, it's a bit...
Yeah. All right, and on top of that then, what has been the best card with the best grade then? We've had like a perfect 10-10.
Yeah, we've had a few pristines over the past year or so, but the most recent one sits out, there's the Burger King Pikachu.
Oh yeah.
Is it Burger King Pikachu?
Yeah, the Burger King.
Yeah, but a pristine 10.
Really?
Yeah.
So did that get scored then?
Yeah, so they automatically upgrade the score.
Automatically.
So it does effectively like the opposite of what PSA does. So PSA charge you more when your car is better. TAG, if you get a pristine score, will give you the score service for free.
That's really cool. So it just automatically upgrades it so it has that kind of like higher end score ability.
Has a score on the card.
And what score did it get?
I think it was a 992. Just.
The highest I've seen so far in like TAG like groups on Facebook and stuff is a 997.
998 is the highest.
Is it 998 is the highest?
There's no 999, there's no 1000.
So the first one, there will be, and it might be graded for us.
Yes.
But so it is really quite a grade to get that.
Yeah.
It's got a really high level of like collectability.
There's sort of along the lines of like your black labels and your pristines and
for sure. And next up is so what TCGs are gradable with TAG? What can you actually submit off to them?
Most, I would always say if you're looking, just check the pop report. Just type your card. It's really easy. You just type the setting or the card or whatever it is, and it'll be on there.
Can you do stuff like Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh?
Magic, not Yu-Gi-Oh, small. They are working on it. They will go up to top scroll thickness in terms like that, so sports cards and things like that. But they don't do really thick stuff like any patches and things like that. They grade autographs in terms of on-card pack pulls, you can send them in. They don't do in-person yet. But
Is that something that's being worked on?
I know it's because they've done a Steve Aoki in hand in person.
Okay.
So it's getting there. It's getting there.
I heard something in the grapevine. I don't want to speculate. Obviously, we talk in facts and figures and what's reality here, but I did hear that they're potentially looking to create a in-person sort of photo booth type grading machine. Is that true?
Yeah, so they're hopefully being rolled out in America over the next year, 18 months, and we've already spoke about us getting one. So
that's exciting. I was going to say
we've skipped ahead then. That's the 2026 look like for TAG.
Oh, is that all?
That might be 2027 to be fair.
2027. Sometimes they get the scoop on that. It's kind of exciting though, right?
Nice. Next question then. What is the turnaround time for the UK Middleman Service?
So we send at the end of every single month. So last working day every month is when we have our cut-off. We'll then get your cards inputted. We'll try and do it leading up to it to get them off a bit quicker. We get your cards inputted, and then as soon as they're off, 8 to 10 weeks, 2 months are in around there. That's pretty much very consistent. We've only at the moment we've got February's and January's out, December's back, and all that. So
amazing. For people who are using the middleman service, that's the turnaround time, which really good. 8 to 10 weeks to go to America, get graded, and come back.
Really good.
The next question I've had then is how have TAG strengthened their cases?
Oh, the last 6 months they did something about 6 months ago. Because there was a lot of concern about people going very brittle. You can set them with your hands. Sure. I asked people to have a go on them when we're at shows. And they're like, have a good squeeze. There's the number on that card is their priority. They will not do any risk in terms of, so that card is that grade. That is it. There's a lot of card switching. You can pull PSA case apart or whatever it is.
Slip another in.
Re-weld the cases. These cases, if you feel like they're being tampered with, they will shatter because there is going to be no risk. But they have toughened them up in terms of making them not shatter. I can't get into it, but
That's
if you
really
do,
good to hear.
they will shatter.
Whenever if I ever spoke to anybody, just for full honesty and transparency, you ask those questions, you hear those things. It's one of the first things I wanted to ask, just to ease people's mind on. We're good, they're good, and if you're going to tamper with them, you can't do anything.
People grade their cards to protect them as well, so it's a fair point.
For sure.
But yeah, the
it
strength
isn't
and
always
that's
about resellability, and I suppose that leads on to the next.
I was going to say the next question about resellability. So what is the potential? What have you seen happening with TAG's resellability? I know we've had discussions leading up to us signing a contract of certain cards outperforming. So what's your take on that?
My take on it is that the UK is still playing catch up, in all honesty. It is still playing catch up. I think the next 6 months, now we've started taking on a lot of vendors in terms of grading their cards. It is going to be more and more prominent in the market. I think if you get a tag card come across, I think you'll find the seller of the tag card is very fixed on the value. They won't take a discount. They are very, very, very hard to buy them off because they know the value of their card. Tag has the American market at the end of the day, and if you've got the American market, it's only a matter of time before it switches over.
Of course,
catches up.
And I suppose in a way as well, when someone is either trying to resell it as a collector or as a vendor, if it's got one of those higher end grades on it, you know that with the report and the score to back it up, in a way you're like, I don't want to lower my price on it because I know what the value is. This card has clearly been looked at for a fine-tooth comb.
I'm very much by the card, not the grade, until tag, because you don't have to say that with tag. When you say that with another grading company that's not been graded the way that tags are graded, you're going, why did it get that score? Where is that? What is that? Or I don't think that's I've got a 10, but if you look, it's got a dink in the back of it. It shouldn't have been a 10.
But the tag score though, with that if you get a score and you, correct me if I'm wrong, if you get a score that you're not happy with, but you've applied for that or taken that score option, it tells you where that card was marked down.
So there's the full report. It gives you the full high resolution picture of your card. It has a thing where you can change it so you can see where the dents and scratches are, if there's any on your card. It then gives you just an overview, so you censoring things or whatever, and then there's what's called the ding part of the report. So it's not just an actual dink in the card, it's anything that's brought your card down. So it could be censoring, it could be surface scratches, and it literally highlights them all, and you can click a separate link on the report and it will take you to it and zoom into where exactly it is.
Amazing. And would that also include super faint print lines, for example?
Anything that has brought that card down. So this Mew, for example, they're full of olive oil print lines.
Of course.
You can go on
notoriously hard to grade.
8.5 is actually a genuinely really good score.
Really good score for an HM.
I was very happy with it.
It's a personal card.
That's my personal
Yeah,
card.
personal.
I had it from a packet from, I think, about 12 years ago. I opened it.
Still sealed. Amazing. That kind of leads on to the next question, because these collectibles are important to people. So when people are sending their cards off, they want to make sure that they're safe and secure and backed with also a level of insurance that's going to protect them. So that kind of comes to my question of what insurances does TAG have for looking after people's collectibles when they're in transit after being sent?
You choose the insurance level of your own cards. It's completely up to you.
Is that based on value of the
submission? We would always say based on graded value, because then obviously it covers it for the return journey as well. But it's cheap. So it's, for example, it's £2.50 to insure for £250, which you don't pay per card. You just pay whatever your total submission is. So it's not like we're going to go on individual cards, so you're only getting that. It's like, okay, well, if one card goes missing, you've still got that.
What are the levels of insurance then? So you got £2.50 for 250?
It's £2.50 for 250, and then it's £5 for 500, and it goes up all the way to 5-10 grand, something like that.
Oh, perfect.
That's what
you can add multiple ones on. So, for example, if you've got cards worth 20 grand, you just add if you want to.
Awesome. This question, I think you'll like this one because it's something you'll love to talk about. But why should the customer choose TAG?
That's a hard one.
So I was asking for TAG. Practice. We work with another company called Black Label Grading. So I was asking the owner of Black Label Grading.
Shout out Black Label.
I was working with them for a while, and I was saying, "You're getting TAG." And then
Whispers.
We got this service, so we've got gradable tags, so it's separate. So aesthetically, look, we can all see aesthetically that they are Even if they're not your favourite, they're going to be up there. They're in everyone's top
They're
3
clean,
in terms
aren't
of they're clean. Laser, it's not like paper label. It's laser etched. It's smart. It's secure now as well. That I think there's a lot of the doubts have gone in terms of the brittleness. You value in terms of selling your cards, in terms of like the different levels of service. So we had there was an example of a PSA 10 SAR Charizard from 151. I think it sold for about $800 a few months ago. The pristine 10 sold for $6.5 grand. Obviously, it's pristine. It's really hard to get, but there's the premium. I saw someone try to sell the Mega Inferno from Phantasmal for 16k in a pristine 10. They wanted it for. I don't know whether they'll get that, but that's what I'm saying about people who collect tag. They have prices and they
people that know like that how hard it is to get that grade. They're putting that premium on themselves and they know it's worth it and they will hold it.
But there's also the score service as well, so you get the extra in terms of you get the actual score past 950 for the 10. So there was a Bubble Mew that sold in a PSA 10 for $1,400, score of 987, so not quite pristine but extremely close.
It's really good.
For $1,600, so there's an extra $200 even though it's still a 10, but it was a strong 10 and you could prove it. And that's why I mean about buying the card.
You actually answered my next question. The next question was actually how does the tag score work? How does it affect the value? So that you read our mind.
I always say that the tag score, you do it for your expensive and really good condition cards. Listen, if your card's going to get a 7 and you don't want to do it, then it makes sense. But if you've got a card that you think is really good condition, if it gets the pristine, you get upgraded to score anyway. But again, it's really hard to get pristine. So if you get a 975, I'd want to know about it, and then you can on your card, so you can go, listen, that is a 10. It's not just a 10; it's a 10.
So I guess then, just finally, just to wrap things up, I think we're all out of questions. I don't think we've got anything else, unless you want to add anything. But then, rather than 2026, what's the future of tag look like?
That's a great question.
I chat to them all the time. I swear I chat the reds off. But
what can you tell us?
Other than the grading machine, is there any other little tidbits you
There's lots of things that in terms of like, obviously there's a lot of American services here in the UK, but they're not really here. I want to get them here. I want to do it here, and I don't see why that can't be a thing.
Like a HQ.
Maybe HQ. Maybe just getting the grade in here, getting the machines over. Because if you do it in pods, why can't I get that pod here?
Why can't I have a few of them at a place and
potentially? So that 30 business day turnaround time is 30 business days. It's not business days.
These pods then, just on this pod thing, what's the turnaround time potentially of those? Obviously we heard some rumours yesterday as well, a few more.
I've not spoken to them properly about it, but from what I believe, I think it's that you can get it done on the days in a couple of hours.
I was going to say, that's what we heard. That's what we heard yesterday when we...
Price-wise on that, I don't know what they're charging back.
Wow. Do you imagine just walking into a TCG store, paying a fee, grab your card and walk out of it?
TCG show, I could take it on tour.
Genuinely, I think every single collector, vendor, reseller, whatever aspect they're in,
it's going to break the
that will change the game.
We actually had a conversation at a car show this weekend where someone's like, I can go and get £300 for this now, but if it's graded, I can get £600 for it, but I don't want to wait. I'm like, now, can you imagine if I go, I can turn that into
now? Well, that was what I asked you at Manchester. I sort of said to you, I can't. For me, some people look at it and go, it's £100 raw, or say £300 graded, but 2 months. So a lot of people don't want to wait the 2 months. So literally having that.
If you're impatient like us, we get all itchy. We're like, where's it?
I'm not driving it down there.
Could you imagine? Hand delivered.
I think. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming down, taking the time and answering our questions. And guys, if you ever wanted to grade through Grade with Tag, we have our own code. You can use code LEGACY. It gives you 5% off. So when you do your process through the website, at the end, put your code LEGACY and you'll be able to get some discount off. It'll be able to support us and support such a great company for the future of what grading is looking like. So it's definitely looking bright. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Bye-bye.